Yep. Hey guys, how did you like that countdown? We are Sean and Christy. This is Long Long Honeymoon. And for the next hour, we will be fielding your questions here on YouTube and Facebook. We're simultaneously streaming to both platforms, assuming the technology works. So first we have to ask, can you see us? Can you hear us?
Hopefully the answer is yes.
So we're already getting a lot of great comments. Hey, Dave and Wainwright, Alberta.
Oh, I bet it's cold there.
Yeah, I can imagine. There's Joyce in South Carolina, Bill in Maryland. Denise got a Tilly hat for her birthday.
Oh,
and
it looks like
it.
she's wearing it in her profile picture.
I have the official Tilly Santa hat on.
Not really, but it could be.
Hey, Melissa in the Ozark Mountains. I hope Santa was good to you all this year.
Yes, we made it home just in time for Christmas Day. So we sort of squealed in on two wheels on Christmas Eve.
Yeah, we really just concluded an at least 4-month adventure in our Airstream. We went all the way to Denny's North Bay Airstream repair and back. So we went to Northern California and back and many places in between.
Yeah, it was a great trip. I mean, we were a little worried about it, I think, before we left home, just because of COVID and all of the restrictions. We weren't really sure what to expect, but I think it turned out to be a really good trip, and we had a really good time out on the road.
Yeah, I mean, for me, I think for all of us, this year had its ups and downs, its highs and lows.
To say the least.
A lot
right?
of lows. But our Airstream adventures were fantastic. Even though there was a slight bit of pandemic weirdness, it was actually pretty fascinating to go from state to state and just see how different each state was dealing with the current situation.
Yeah, because it was definitely one extreme to the other, depending on what state you were in, or even what city or county you were in within certain states. It could be vastly different than other parts of the same state. So it's kind of interesting just to see how it's all turned out.
Missy says that Santa is bringing them an Airstream.
Wow.
You must have been
really good this year. Hi, Dana in Vegas.
Dana in Vegas. We spent some time in Vegas. We actually went to the Red Rock Canyon Park, which is just, I guess,
probably about 25, 30 minutes northwest of Las Vegas.
Yeah, more west than north.
Yeah.
Beautiful, beautiful place.
Yeah, we had a great time exploring that area. And with all the years we've been through Vegas, that was the first time we'd ever been to that area. So it was something new for us. We tried to really seek out new experiences this year. We hit several new national parks for us. So that was a highlight, I think.
New life and new civilizations. We went to probably 4 or 5 sort of new to us national parks. I mean, for example, the Black Canyon of the Gunnison in Colorado.
Great Sand Dunes.
Hot
Springs National Park in Arkansas.
Death Valley National Park.
Yeah.
And then the one that I cannot pronounce.
Saguaro. I think that's how you say it, according to their website. National Park, which is near Tucson, Arizona. And it's named for the saguaro cactus that grow there. So that was a neat little detour for us. And we've been through Tucson many times before too, and we just never stopped at that national park. We did miss White Sands National Park, which is near Las Cruces, New Mexico. We were hoping to get there this trip, but we just sort of ran out of time. We were needing to kind of book it to make it home by Christmas. So
Bob
next year
says he can see us fine.
Oh, yay. Thanks,
notice. Bob. Hello.
Is it Isa?
Isa in Texas. Yep.
Hi
we
there.
Just came through Texas.
Yeah.
Had a great time.
Hi,
we went
Steve
through
in Louisiana.
I guess you call it the Hill Country in Texas, and visited Fredericksburg, which is a really charming little town there. A lot of wineries in that area. We stayed at one sort of bar and grill, like through our Harvest Host membership.
Yeah.
And then we stayed at another winery, and we took in the Christmas lights in Fredericksburg, which were really nice.
It was super cute.
Really charming.
Has like a German theme, because I guess they have German heritage there in Fredericksburg.
Hey, Steve in Louisiana.
Dubuque,
hey, Mark
Iowa.
in Dubuque. Hey, Tia. Merry Christmas to you.
Merry Christmas, everybody. Happy holidays, whatever you say. Oh,
Aries
baby
wondering
girl.
where baby girl
That's my
is.
dad, if you don't know. And baby girl is upstairs sleeping in her bed.
She is relaxing now.
She is a little too skittish to bring down tonight.
She actually got sick at her tummy this afternoon.
Yeah,
so.
she, I think, ate her lunch a little too fast and threw it up. So
we have to occasionally feed baby girl shredded wheat because it helps to keep her regular. But she doesn't always like it.
Too much information for you there. Dog
hey,
ownership.
Russell in Tennessee. Hey, Dwight in Florida. So we want to obviously open up the floor for questions. If anybody has any questions, shoot them out to us. You know, I think I would say to sort of sum up our recent adventures, the last several months have been certainly a highlight of the year.
Yeah.
I mean, this has been a fascinating year for us because we started out with some great adventures in Asia, came back with a small cold, and then everything just went crazy. I don't know what happened. Just had the sniffles. And
He's just kidding. We weren't sick when we came home, but we were actually in Asia when this whole outbreak began. And all of our friends and family were saying, oh, you've got to get home. You know, there's this, you know, sickness that's over there in Asia and you're going to get it. It's going to be bad, you know? And so we rushed home. We actually came home about a week earlier than we were planning. And then the US really got hit hard, and Thailand, which is where we were, didn't really have many cases. So oddly enough, we might've been better off staying in Thailand. I don't know, but it was a good trip at the beginning of the year. And then we were home for quite a long stretch. And then we hit the road September 2nd, I think, and just got back.
And so we've had a 4-month trip. Let's see. There's Aaron Jacobs.
Hi.
You guys track the mileage in Airstream and correlate maintenance. It's a really good idea. I wish Airstreams had an odometer.
Sort of odometer. That'd be very helpful.
I'm sure you're more organized than we are and than I am. And I think that is a good idea. I had a discussion with Vinny this year about how many miles are on our Airstream. And we were estimating probably 100,000.
Yeah.
You know,
and our truck has 185,000. So that's probably accurate, I would think.
I would say with an Airstream, or at least maybe not with Erin's Airstream because she has a more modern one, but like the wheel bearings are an issue. Like with regard to mileage.
To repack them.
I want to give a shout out to our resident bouncer, Jim Pratt.
Jim Pratt. Thank you so much for tuning in and being our little moderator.
Yeah.
He gets rid of the trolls. So
I saw he got a lordship.
We appreciate Jim. Yeah, he got a lordship for Christmas.
I'm not sure how that works in Canada. They have some sort of deal with England,
Scotland.
But yeah,
I think it was Scotland. Is that right, Jim? That's a really cool gift. I don't know who gave that to you, but that was really creative.
DJM says, Merry Christmas, happy travels, and hope for a better new year.
Amen to that.
Yeah.
I think we're all ready to just kiss 2020 goodbye with a good old kick in the pants, you know,
yeah,
just
we actually
kick it to the curb.
Do have a bottle of champagne we're going to open in a little bit.
Yeah.
So to celebrate
the end of 2020.
Interesting year.
And welcome.
I wanted to give a quick shout out to Beach Happy Magazine because one treat for us when we got home from our trip is we finally got to see a hard copy of Beach Happy. This is the fall 2020 issue, but there's a great spread story inside. This is really a nice summation of kind of the story of Long, Long Honeymoon. And this is a product of the 30A company. So if you guys have a Barnes & Noble or Books A Million and you want to read about Long, Long Honeymoon, it's a great magazine.
Yeah. You can also read it on their website. I think it's just beachhappy.com. So
let's see. I think Jim Pratt is about to kick Remy out. Not really. I think Remy's a good guy.
That's funny.
Let's see. Dan and Pam say in their F-250 they can set up different trailers and it keeps track of mileage for each.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, that's
what happens when you have a new truck.
When you have modern technology.
We're living in the previous decade.
Honestly, I think this may be the year when Seymour is gently nestled out to pasture.
Oh, sad. I think we're hoping to get one more season out.
So yeah, I mean Seymour he gets it done.
We're trying to get one more season out of him, and then
Hey Freda in Enterprise, Alabama.
We'll see what happens.
Hey, Todd. Yep. Thank you,
Oh,
Todd.
thanks. He read the article.
Next time that we are in your neighborhood, Todd, we will do a meetup. We wanted to do a meetup in Utah, but due to the pandemic, we just thought, it's probably not the best timing.
Idea.
Yeah.
So we just thought we would hold off on the meetups until next year. We still did meet a lot of you guys in different campgrounds and gas stations and
we did
restaurants and random locations.
That's always very energizing for us when we meet you guys on the road and are able to talk face to face. I'm thinking of like the Edens that we met in the Death Valley area.
Yeah.
It was super nice people, and it's just wonderful to actually meet you guys out there when we're out there all traveling around doing it.
Yep.
Wow.
Ask Remy. Thank you so much. That's so
Remy.
Nice. We appreciate that.
Appreciate that very much.
Super sweet.
Thanks so much. Let's see.
That's a nice Happy New Year kickoff.
Yeah, it is.
Thanks.
Let's see. Kirk asked, we get a new truck. How can we see more?
We can see more too.
Yeah, I'll be Seymour Jr. We'll see. Maybe we'll have a contest and name the new truck.
Seymour, the sequel.
What I consider the new Ford 7.3 gas. We've got to do our research.
Yeah, we haven't really started looking yet.
I came out last year and said that I'm very interested in the Cybertruck, like the Tesla. And I'm still really interested in it. Would love to have one. But the more I look into it, I'm honestly just not sure if it will work for the type of towing that we do and the long travel distances that we typically do. I'm afraid we'll end up having to just plan our trips around superchargers.
Yeah. So I think the technology is just not quite there yet, like maybe in another 5 years or so. But even so, the Cybertruck that we would need, I think, isn't going to come out into production until 2022, like late in the year.
Yeah.
So that's still 2 years away. And I think they've got some things to work on.
I'm reserving judgment. There's Brian, who said he met us this year at Grove Vaunt.
Hi, Brian.
So we had a good visit at Grove Vaunt, good time there. Really surprised at how busy the parks were. I think when the COVID lockdown stuff began earlier this year, nobody really knew how all that was going to shake out.
Yeah.
And what really happened is a lot of people decided to go RV camping.
Yeah. If you know anybody who is looking to purchase an RV, they will tell you that RV dealerships were just cleared out. I mean, people were just buying anything and everything that they had on the lots. And I really think it was just a case of cabin fever. All these people who had never RV'd before and had been stuck at home for months, and their summer travel plans overseas, wherever they were going, got canceled. They were scared to fly. They just turned their sights on something else, and they locked in on the RV lifestyle and jumped in head first. And man, did we see the crowds this year in pretty much every national park that we went to. They were all super crowded. And it's just the COVID campers. That's what the campgrounds were calling them. And we certainly saw that. So
Jack says, with a brand new alternator, why would we get rid of Seymour? Good point,
That's
Jack.
Right.
Yeah, Seymour, we towed 2,000 miles basically with that new alternator and really did a great job recharging our lithium batteries in the trailer. Shout out to Ronnie, also known as Airstream Nuts and Bolts, who did a wonderful solar install for us this year. In fact, I would say our favorite hardware upgrade with the trailer clearly has to be the solar.
Yeah.
And our favorite upgrade to the exterior is going to be the ceramic coating. So tune in next week. Plan to do a big video that kind of explains all about this new nanotechnology. We coated our Airstream in a protective layer of ceramic glass.
And it's a different product than what they use on cars. They sort of formulated this specifically for Airstreams because of the aluminum skin. So it's really interesting how it works. And we've already seen the positive results from it just from our drive home and spending time in the desert. So it's really exciting
new technology, and they're doing them at Vinny's every week now.
Yeah.
So tune in next week for more about that ceramic coating. I wanted to quickly address Karen's question, who posted on Facebook, do we do harvest host days as much as possible? We did several during this trip.
Yeah.
And I would say, for example, in the hill country of Texas, and we stayed at a great little bar and grill called the Lone Star Bar and Grill that had sheep grazing on the property.
Yes.
And had just a wonderful like live music, and
they had some great food, good
great
tacos,
food, great drinks, great people there.
Baked bread.
So shout out to them. And we also stayed at another winery. We stayed at a farm. I know that some of you guys saw the Shumway Farms video.
Yeah, in Wyoming.
So
we stayed at some breweries.
So we really enjoy Harvest Host
everything.
quite a lot. And I think the memberships, what does it break out to? Is it $80?
$80 for the basic membership, and then if you do the golf add-on, I think it's $120, maybe $119. Something
we stayed at that winery in New Mexico.
Yeah, that was really nice, and a lot of them will be places where you can just pull in at any time. You don't have to be there at a certain time, which is nice. But you do have to just check on the app and see what each location prefers. So, and
it is boondocking basically.
Yeah, it's dry
camping. And sometimes you can't run generators, or they prefer that you not run generators for obvious reasons.
Just depends on the location.
Yeah, it depends on the place. But, we've really enjoyed the luxury of that solar that we can usually get by without running a generator.
But that was, I think, a big upgrade that we did this year. And we really never did it prior to this year because we were always concerned about the issue of being able to run a generator or not. And honestly, I think most of the places we stopped this year, you would have been able to run a generator, with the exception of the farm.
Yeah.
Because you were right there next to the livestock and near their house. And so that would have been disruptive. But the breweries and the wineries, I don't think anybody would have even heard if you'd run a generator. So if that's deterring you, I would say don't let that deter you now, just from our personal experience.
I think Shumway was Alf's last name or something like that.
Was that Alf's last name? Man, talk about a throwback show. But I loved Alf when I was a kid.
Now, Airstream Vagabond said that Ronnie's going to be installing their solar in 18 days.
That's awesome.
Congrats.
Congratulations.
Yeah, you will love it.
And if you're on the West Coast, Vinny does the same solar installs as well. So,
right. Vinny.
And they usually talk back and forth, Ronnie and Vinny. So if you can't make it to Alabama, call Vinny. He does solar installs all day long too.
Linda asked if we use tire covers and RV covers. I'm going to be completely honest. No, we don't.
Well,
now, the tire covers are a good idea to protect your tires from sun exposure. So we probably should be using tire covers. So shame on us. RV covers, however, could be damaging to an Airstream.
It's a no. Don't put a cover on an Airstream.
Yeah, because
it can scratch the clear coat, and it can eventually lead to like that filiform corrosion and sort of that cloudiness that you see on some old Airstreams. So you don't ever want to put a cover on your Airstream.
Jules will have a 4x4 Sprinter conversion done in 4 to 6 weeks. Going to be hitting the road in 2021.
That's awesome. Congratulations.
Need advice for exterior trim seals that keep cracking on an older travel trailer. I would talk to Vinny at Vinny's North Bay Airstream Repair, because he occasionally will reseal.
We actually resealed our bumper rail, like the ceiling around that this year, because I got to scrape the old off with the bone tool.
Rocky asks, how do you keep your freshwater tank drain from freezing during travel and if you get caught in the cold? Well, our travel trailer has a belly pan, and it's enclosed. And if we run our furnace, the propane furnace, it helps keep the pipes
There's actually
warm.
A vent that vents down into that belly pan. So it keeps the temperature, within the belly pan a certain degree so it won't freeze.
And it's fairly efficient with propane. I mean, we typically do not winterize our trailer because we like to be able to take it out kind of on a moment's notice, even in wintertime.
But that's because we live in Alabama and we don't have a ton of days that are truly below freezing, although the last 3 nights have been below freezing. Christmas night, it was 19 degrees here, so it got really cold.
There's Camping Alan. You remember we met Alan in the Redstone, Colorado area?
That's right.
Nice to see you here, Alan. Appreciate it. Somebody asked a question about the sewer hose.
Oh, boy.
Can't have a video without discussing the sewer hose. So actually, we resisted doing this for a long time, but now we store the sewer hose in the rear storage drawer of our Airstream. Like, in our opinion, that consumes that entire space, but we were able to get by with a longer hose doing that. And sometimes you need that extra 5 feet of hose. So, I mean, having a little bit longer water hose and sewer hose can make a difference a lot of times.
Yeah.
Just makes life a little bit
Sometimes
easier.
you'll just encounter a weird campground that's just set up kind of funky and you need that extra space.
Chris asks, when are you coming to WNC?
What's WNC? Western North Carolina? Is that what WNC is? That's my only guess. We have family in Charlotte.
Yeah.
We'll maybe come there in the spring.
Yeah,
we're
we
not
would
sure
love to.
yet, but possibly. I would like to get back to Asheville and tour the Biltmore. We didn't get to do that last time we were there, so
maybe we'll do.
It's on our short list.
Late winter, early spring type of trip.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
When it's starting to thaw just a bit. Yep. Mark is heading to Fredericksburg, Texas.
You will
on
enjoy
Thursday.
it. You should go to the Auslander. Is that how you say it? Restaurant.
Oh yeah, it's like a traditional German.
It's really good. Their schnitzel
Try the
was
schnitzel.
amazing. The schnitzel was really good. I didn't think their spatzel was great, but the schnitzel was great, and the soup that they had was really good.
Aaron asks, when are you going to get Sean back to Fort Wilderness?
Girl, let me just tell you, the struggle is real.
I love Disney.
I have to just grab him by the neck and drag him down. He is such a grump when it comes to
humbug.
Disney. He is grumpy McGrumpykins. So I don't know. We just have to meet up with you there, and we'll leave him in the camper, and you and I can go into the park and have fun and just leave him.
Yeah, I
his
think
grumpy
Aaron
self
knows
in
how
the
to have a good
campground.
time at Disney. I like the camping. We went to a lot of interesting places this year. I would say, we mentioned the national parks, but also we did a lot of boondocking in the Alabama Hills in California was a real highlight.
I think that was probably our best new to us destination that we found this year. And it was totally a fluke. Our friends Nader and Wendy invited us to join them for Thanksgiving. And so we said, okay. And we just followed them down from Northern California and set up camp. And we had a great time. It was a beautiful place. The hiking was amazing. The views were incredible. The campsites were perfect. And it was a cute little town. They had a movie museum. They film a lot of movies in that area. So we just really enjoyed that.
Give a shout out to our friends Nader and Wendy.
Yeah.
We had Thanksgiving with them there.
Yeah,
Ranger asked if our Airstream is lifted at all. Thinking about doing this modification. Our Airstream is not lifted. I think it's an interesting modification to make. And if you're going to do a lot of camping, especially in those off the grid areas, it's probably a good idea. So we've thought about doing it.
Talk to somebody about that though, because we briefly talked with Vinny about that when we were there this year. And I don't think Vinny was totally gung-ho on it because it will change the way your Airstream tows. So it's just something that you really need to consider before you jump in on that.
Too, it will also change just getting in and out of the trailer if you don't have your step folded down.
So when you're stopping at a gas station or something, you want to jump in your camper to go to the bathroom or get a snack or whatever. You're adding an extra 3 inches, which doesn't sound like much until, you're climbing in there. And then it's a different story.
Denise is going to be camping with Airstream friends on New Year's Eve.
Fun.
That sounds fun.
Stay warm up there.
Yep. Kevin says, greetings from tropical Minnesota. Acme Racing winterizes in October.
I'm sorry.
Now, we have pretty mild winters. I mean, for example, right now, today it was around 60 degrees outside.
But the last 3 nights it's been in the 20s.
Yeah.
And Christmas night it was 19. So
John says, looking forward to taking their Airstream to the Florida Keys this winter. We've thought about doing that as well. I think one interesting aspect of this winter, the Jim Pratts are still in Canada.
Poor Jim Pratt.
I know.
We're sorry, Jim. We wish you were here.
The Canadian snowbirds
are
not flocking this year.
So Arizona was really, kind of dead because all the Canadian snowbirds weren't there. So I imagine that Florida is the same. So it might be your chance to get in somewhere.
It may be. Of course, my predictions have proven pretty lousy in the past because at one point I thought the national parks would be empty this year.
Yeah, we thought they would be dead,
being slammed. So and now
how wrong we were.
So I'm sort of speculating, with the Keys, it could be really crowded with all these new RV travelers, or it could be underbooked because the Canadian snowbirds have not come down.
You have a friend in Carol Carol's not a fan of
Carol is
Disney.
not a Disney fan.
I told Sean that this year we probably should do Universal Studios. It's been a long time since we've been to Universal Studios, and they sort of have the big thrill rides, which you like and I like, and they've got the whole Harry Potter world built since the last time we were there. So maybe we should go try that.
And there's a question from Rick Marks. He asked, "What is the prettiest place you've been in North America?"
Oh,
I would have to say Montgomery, Alabama.
That's because that's where Rick lives.
That's where Rick is. Sorry. Shout out to Rick. Rick was my roommate in Yellowstone a long time ago, back in the 90s. When we were working away
when they were mere children.
No, truthfully, the prettiest place, it's kind of a cop-out, but I keep coming back to Grand Teton National Park because we love it so much, and those mountains are so pretty. I'm sort of biased towards mountains. You know what I mean? So
I think so too. I think the view of the Tetons is just really
tough to beat. I mean,
and the wildlife around there, it's just.
There's a reason all those car commercials and bank commercials are filmed there.
That's why they film them all there.
Now, I will say, we love Montana and Idaho. Certainly a Glacier
and
National Park.
Utah is gorgeous. I mean.
Yeah, it's a different kind of beauty in Utah, but it's incredible.
We spent more time in Zion.
Zion.
We can't say Zion.
You say Zion.
People get mad when we say that. So
you are wrong.
Zion.
Zion. Zion.
We spent more time there this year and did more hiking, and it was just absolutely beautiful. So it's hard to say. And then the Keys are gorgeous. We have a beautiful country. We're very fortunate.
Yeah, we really do. I mean, the amount of just the diversity of terrain. If you want mountains, if you want oceans, if you want deserts, even there were some of those national parks, the one I can't pronounce, Saguaro. It was strikingly beautiful with those, like 20, 30, 40 foot tall cactuses, just a different type of beauty.
Right.
So
Julie Walker wants to know when we're going to come back to Michigan. The UP is so beautiful. Yes, we spent a good block of time in the UP. Gosh, it's been 10 years ago now, at least maybe. And it was beautiful. We enjoyed it a lot. And I don't know when we'll get back there.
John asked about West Virginia. We have been camping in West Virginia. We've been in all the lower 48.
Sort of like skirted through.
We did, but
we didn't spend a lot of time there. But we need to spend more time there.
Yep, I remember getting a fish sandwich.
Yes, in Wheeling, West Virginia.
With
our friend, Jim.
Yep. So
super nice guy.
S. Miller wants to hear more about the adventures in the 90s. I would like to talk more about that stuff. You
were a young whippersnapper.
I have a second experimental channel called the Shawn Michaels Simulation. So check that out because I may start just telling stories on there, just fun stories.
Oh no! Somebody says don't go to Key West. It sucks because nothing is open.
Yeah, that
does suck.
That's a drag. I see Barbie says my favorite place was visiting Badlands National Park.
Yeah, Badlands is really beautiful. I totally get you there.
Denise asked if we used our Sure Call while we were on the road and how did it work? We did use the Sure Call. My honest answer is it didn't work that great. I mean, we had our ups and downs with it. It was okay. Like there may have been one or two occasions when
it took us from one bar to 2 or 3 bars.
Yeah, but I mean, I think there's an old saying that you can't make chicken salad out of chicken poop. You heard that saying?
Okay, I don't think I've heard that one. But
you haven't heard that one?
I would say it's true.
So, I mean, if your cellular signal is chicken poop, you're not going to make chicken salad out of it. So, I mean, that's the issue. But it did help in a couple of different situations.
Yeah, but it wasn't anything that was just like life-changing. So.
Let's see. Jody's Chihuahua says to get baby girl a puzzle bowl, it slows down the food consumption.
Well, unfortunately for baby girl, we have to coax her to eat. And so she eats slowly anyway. So
Charles in Georgia says the Canadian snowbirds have figured out a way to get their RVs across the border. Then they fly down and pick up the RV. Very clever.
Interesting.
Those crafty Canadians. They figured out a way. So
well, I have to say good for them.
Jim, we expect to see you in Florida.
Yep. But man, I bet having somebody tow your Airstream or your RV down for you is not cheap.
Mark says he just started camping this year with a truck camper and feels like he doesn't see many truck campers in the Southeast. We definitely see truck campers.
Yeah,
we
I
see
think
the
it just
gamut.
depends.
Yeah, we see everything
on where you are and what you're doing. I think if you're more in like developed campgrounds, like full hookup campgrounds, I don't see as many truck campers there. I feel like most people we know that are truck camping are going to national parks, sort of more remote camping, or they're dry camping somewhere like on Bureau of Land Management land. So maybe that's why you're not seeing as many of them if you're staying in full hookup campgrounds. I don't know.
Alan wants to hear about my college adventures. All I can say is I'm very thankful that social media did not exist.
Aren't we
when I was in
all glad
college.
that didn't exist in college?
I would still be trying to live that down.
The pictures that came off of my disposable Kodak cameras were bad enough. I can't imagine.
Roxanne asked a good question about, have we ever camped in Everglades National Park? I mean, it's sort of a yes and no. We have camped in that part of Florida. We have been through Everglades National Park.
But we did not camp inside the park.
I will say we have never seen more wild alligators than in that area. It is incredible.
Just on the side of the road.
Yeah, you'll just see like dozens of alligators, some really large alligators just out sunning themselves. Like you just look off the side of the road into a ditch. And so you got to really watch your step down there.
And those gators are fast when they want to get moving, and they can also climb. I don't know if you've ever seen that video on YouTube where the alligator climbs over the
fence. Yeah.
That scared the bejesus out of me because I didn't realize the alligators could do that. And so after seeing that, I'm just like, nope, tapped out on the alligators.
Mike asked a good question, said they're getting a new camper in February. Any advice as far as shakedown trips and what to look out for? I think a shakedown trip is critical, an excellent idea. In fact, we even did one this year just about an hour from our home, and we discovered some issues right out of the gate.
Yeah.
Even as long as we've been doing this, you're going to have issues. I mean, it's just life.
Yeah. Nothing is perfect, especially RVs. RV quality control is kind of a joke. I mean, it really is. It's nothing like the car industry. So keep that in mind. When you buy a new RV, it doesn't mean that you're getting a problem-free RV.
Well, hopefully you are, but
you're not going to.
Yeah, there will be issues. So
I would say stay close to home.
Right.
Like be 20 or 30 minutes from home if you can. In fact, spend a night or two in it in your driveway if you were lucky enough to be able to park it in your driveway, just to get the idea of like things that you need that you might forget that you need. And so you can grab those and toss them in. And then once you get to a campground, stick around for a couple of days and just work all the systems, fill up the gray tank, fill up the black tank, flush them out.
Yeah. On that note, it's a good idea to stay full hookup the first time you go, just because, especially if you've never RV camped before,
absolutely,
you're going to be surprised at water consumption and how you need to sort of change your habits in dealing with water.
Yep.
So just stay in a full hookup place close. The first time that we went on our shakedown cruise, we first got our travel trailer, was probably 15 minutes from our home.
Yep.
And we still had a blast. We were in a local state park, and I remember being surprised.
It feels totally different. You're in a different part of town, and it's not home. So it's cool.
I was really surprised at how different it felt.
Did that?
Oh, that's Aaron. Thank you, Aaron.
Thank you,
Barbie.
Aaron. We appreciate that
tip
so much. That was super sweet.
I'm going to give a roll tide to Aaron.
Oh. I can't do it. I'm not an Alabama fan.
Adrian said the best gator is fried gator.
Well, fried alligator is pretty good.
Yeah, I have had it. Tastes like chicken. Really kind of does. Let's see. SM says they want to buy a vacation condo in 38. Yes, I know a good real estate agent. Her name is Angela Ragsdale.
Yep.
Great real estate agent. And we'll put you in touch with
I think her email address, I think you can look it up on 30arealestate.com, I think.
I mean, she's been a long time 38 local resident.
Yeah, she's lived there for 15 years.
Yep.
Yeah. So she'll set you up.
Angela will hook you up. John says they got their Airstream Globetrotter this fall. Already had to fix the furnace.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, unfortunately, I think especially, this year they were building so many RVs.
Production has just gone through the roof. So they are really just
they're building together as fast as they can. And so, quality does suffer a little bit. Yep.
Thanks, Aaron.
Yep. See you on January 6th.
Are you going to the game perchance? I'm just curious.
Alabama Nation is out.
Alabama fans are coming out.
And we have presumably a Georgia fan.
You're not a Sanford fan? We're not dogs, though. We're just dogs, bulldogs.
John asked a good question. Do you ever wish you had a bigger rig, or is your 25-foot perfect for 2 people? Honestly, we occasionally look at bigger rigs. Like, for example, when we were at Vinny's, he has this 33-foot classic.
Which
I kind of like the Airstream classics.
Possibly.
There are trade-offs in all these. I really do feel the 25-foot length is good size for us.
Yeah.
I feel so comfortable in it.
Don't get me wrong. I would love to have an extra couple of feet. I really would like to have a dinette. We don't have a dinette in our RV. We just have our couch with like fold-out tables. I would like to have a dinette. But where we really appreciate having a 25-foot travel trailer is when we're camping in national parks, because the campgrounds are usually smaller. So we have much more choice as to where we can camp. And then, dry camping, we don't really have to worry about being able to fit many places because we're not too big.
Towing, maneuverability, parking.
Pulling in and out of gas stations. I mean, even just like stealth camping, which is sort of like parking overnight on like a city street.
Yeah, or even staying with friends. There
in their
have been times
driveway.
we park it in people's driveways.
It's great to be
It's a good
small RV because you don't stick out as much. You can just sort of fly under the radar a little bit more.
Vicky says hello from Utah. So they love our channel. Thank you, Vicky.
We love Utah.
We love Utah.
It's a beautiful state.
We had a really interesting experience. At least I thought it was interesting. We were in eastern Utah. We just crossed over from Colorado. We went into like a local Walmart.
Oh, right.
Both wearing face masks.
Yeah. So you can only see us from like here.
And some people said, "Hey, are you the Long Honeymoon guys from YouTube?" Like, even while we were wearing the face mask,
I was shocked.
I thought that was pretty funny.
Tell who we were. And I don't think you had your hat on either.
No.
Usually
I wasn't wearing this hat for sure.
No, you weren't wearing.
No, but we love Utah, and we actually spent a lot of time in Zion. And Zion is actually, Utah is just an incredibly beautiful state.
It's just a beautiful state.
It's stunningly beautiful. Elmer asked a good question about national parks. What's the maximum length for camper and tow vehicle for all national parks? Well, it really varies. Yeah, they're all different. A lot of the national parks, not all, will have sort of older campgrounds that were designed
in the 40s.
Yeah, before there were like massive 42-foot motorhomes and fifth wheels and so forth.
I know in the Tetons, if your camper is longer than 30 feet, you really start to be limited on choice. And that's not including your tow vehicle there. But now some campgrounds, your total length will be 40 feet. So you're looking at a pretty small RV at that point. So it just depends on the national park. Every national park lists their campgrounds on their website, and they will give you the criteria for each individual campground, like what the maximum length is allowed in each campground. So you just have to go to their website.
Our 25-footer is getting to be about as long as it could be for a lot of national parks.
Yeah. In fact, when we were in Yosemite a few years ago, we actually stayed in a campground that the max length allowed was 24 feet. In our camper, it's 25. And we talked to a ranger because we were looking for a site for the night, and it was a first come, first served campground. And he was like, you'll fit, you're on the cusp, but go for it. So sometimes you can talk to War Eagle.
You're getting the
Thank you, Mr. Roboto.
The riffraff has come out.
Frida. Thank you, War Eagle.
The Auburn Eagles.
Yay, we've got to stick together because we had a really terrible season and we lost we fired our coach. I mean, he got $21 million. I don't feel too sorry for him. But yeah.
Merry Christmas to Bernard in New Jersey.
But back real quick to the Yosemite thing. Sometimes they will have a limit. And if you talk to a ranger, if you're right there on the cusp, they'll tell you whether or not you can go in or not. So always ask a ranger. They are a wealth of information.
Roxanne asked, do you think Airstream will ever make a 25-foot classic? Actually, I have a proposal. I have a proposal. The Long Honeymoon Edition Airstream 25-foot classic with all the new bells and whistles.
Maybe 26 feet so we can get a dinette in there.
There you go. And we'll help them design it. So we need to put.
Does anybody can we start a write-in campaign to Airstream that you want the Long Honeymoon Edition Airstream to come out? Can we start that? Is that a thing? Just everybody start writing Bob Wheeler. Missy
Ferguson
Missy.
gives you a War Eagle
War
shout
Eagle
out
girl.
well.
Thanks for chiming in, Missy.
Creekside Living says, I believe if our Airstream was 65 feet long, it would not be enough for me in my life. I do think you kind of always sort of expand your amount of stuff depending on whatever space you've got. So, I mean, we're sort of comfortable with our existing space. But, you know, Airstream, there were like a handful of Airstreams that were made out of like, they're like train cars or something. Do you remember those?
Oh, right.
They're huge. They're absurdly long. They're maybe not 75 feet.
Back in the 40s or 50s, they built them for some company. I think it was Airstream. Maybe it was a different company, but it was, you know, made out of aluminum.
Let's see, AJ asks, so they've never done any type of RV camping, so they're going to rent from Cruising America. Any advice?
I would, probably not recommend Cruise America.
They're probably fine.
They really get just worn out. We see a lot of like young college age people from
maybe request a newer one. I don't know.
That like pile like 10 people in. So I think Road Bear RV is another company that does nationwide RV rental, and their rigs tend to look a little newer and nicer than the Cruise America ones. And they also don't have like the huge ad all over the side of them, which I like better. So you might look into them. The other option is RV Share, which is where people rent their personal RVs. It's sort of like Airbnb, but for RVs. And so you can sort of rent the gamut from them. You can rent travel trailers, fifth wheels, Class A motorhomes, Class Cs, Sprinter vans, all that sort of stuff. So you might look into that option as well.
I want to give a shout out to Denise.
Oh,
thank you for the tip.
Denise.
She asked how our Garmin 890 is working. Overall, I like it. It has some routing issues, I would say.
Which every GPS we've ever had always has a glitch here and there.
Yeah.
I would say with any GPS you have, always check it against your phone maps just to get clarification between two different ones, because sometimes you'll get a different route on your phone versus the GPS, and sometimes the GPS route will be better, and sometimes the route on your phone will be better. And so you can sort of tweak it from there. So just do some comparisons. And we carry a paper map with us too, just in case. So
we do
we're
often
weird like that.
We route on both like a phone and the GPS. Now I love the features in the GPS. Like a lot of times if you're looking for propane or a dump station or something like that, one punch and you can find them. Also, for example, the Army Corps of Engineers parks are all in there.
All listed in there.
There are even boondocking sites that are listed in there.
Yeah. The other thing that's really nice about that GPS is the screen. When you're coming up to an exit, it will highlight the specific exit and show you what lane you're supposed to be in for the exit. So that can be very helpful when towing.
Thank you, Penny, for your kind comments. She asked if
thank you so much,
we
Penny.
plan to travel to Yellowstone. It seems like we always end up out there.
Oh, she says they're planning to travel.
Oh, okay. I thought, do you have any suggestions? Yes. We actually have a couple of detailed videos. Yeah, we have a bunch of videos on Yellowstone.
Yeah.
A lot of our videos are designed to be what they call evergreen. So like a lot of that information, even if the video is a couple of years old, it should still be quite relevant.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's not like yesterday's news. Yellowstone hasn't changed that much in many millennia.
Yeah.
So let's see. Aaron had a comment about the 27-foot Airstream.
Scott Sykes.
Wow.
My gracious, Scott Sykes. Thank you so much.
Thank you so
that
much.
That was very, very nice.
Appreciate it very much.
Wow.
Super kind of you.
Thank you so much. What a wonderful, generous gift. We appreciate
awesome.
that.
Thank you so much.
Wow.
Let's see. Dan says, sorry we missed you leaving Zion RV Resort. It was awesome to run into you.
Yes.
Yep.
Thanks for saying hello, Dan.
Oh, yeah. I think we hung out at the campfire there.
Yes. That was a lot of fun.
That's awesome.
And we ran into your friends, your next door neighbors from Georgia. We ran into them again in Arizona. So small world. Let's see. Somebody was asking earlier about your ankle, or really it's his foot that he broke many years ago, if it bothers you in the cold weather. And then somebody else was asking about your health in general.
Yeah,
so
my health overall has been very good,
update.
Except for my beer consumption increased. And due to COVID lockdowns, a lot of the gyms were closed. So my belly has expanded.
We both are packing on the quarantine 15, unfortunately.
So other than that, I thank you for asking. My health has been very good overall the last few years. I think the brain tumor issue is not necessarily gone, but it's definitely under control, and it may be gone. The last scan that was done, they couldn't even find it. So
he is still on his medication, though. So I
want to give a shout out to Mrs. Hopper, my former high school teacher. Who taught me sociology, and really loved her class very much and learned a lot. And I've told you a lot of stories about Mrs. Hopper's class.
And God bless you, Miss Hopper, for having Sean and his crew in your class, because I'm sure they were
I was
a handful, to say the least.
I was a bit of a troublemaker, and my teachers were very kind and patient with me.
Oddly enough, Sean's mom also taught at his high school, but that did not deter him from poor behavior.
From having a few trips to the principal's office. That were Jim asked if we're ever going to republish some of the old videos. It'd probably be fun to do kind of a retrospective and publish some of those. Some of the oldest videos, I guess I kind of hid from view because if they were just really, really bad. I mean, back then when we first started making videos, they wouldn't let you make a video longer than 2 minutes. And so like a lot of the videos were super short. They weren't very focused. They weren't that helpful. And I'm afraid people might get frustrated a little bit with them.
Somebody wants to know if we gave up our electric bikes. We didn't give them up. We still have them. We just did not bring them on this particular trip.
We did have an issue last year with the storage of the bikes on top of our tonneau cover on the truck. The front fork of Christy's bike actually broke off just due to impact. So we weren't totally pleased with that storage solution. And we're kind of looking around maybe for some different e-bikes. Like maybe we'll get something different and change up our storage a little bit, because they're nice to have. I think my issue with e-bikes, I think you need to be able to use them
easily.
On a moment's notice, to really get good use out of them. Because there's nothing worse than you want to grab a bike, you got to
I think
assemble it.
If you have a motorhome or a fifth wheel that has a lot of underneath storage, I think an e-bike is a no-brainer. Because you can put them in those storage compartments where they're covered. They're not going to get rained on. They're not going to get thrown all over the place. Whereas with a travel trailer and you're putting them on a bike rack, they take so much wear and tear, especially when you're on these long trips like we do. And some of these off-roading, dry camping situations we go to, the roads can be really rough. And that, I think, is what did mine in. I need to get it fixed. It is fixable. I just honestly haven't gotten it fixed yet.
Hi, Deb.
Hopefully soon.
Deb said this is her first live event.
Oh, thanks, Deb.
And I wanted to say that in 2021, we're going to try to do more live streaming, and we're actually going to organize a little bit better and schedule maybe one a month, because we've had some requests for more live streaming and we really enjoy it. I think it's a great way to really connect with you guys and answer questions.
Say hi to Laisha.
Oh, yeah.
Hi, Laisha.
Awesome. We met Laisha and her husband in Grovant in 2019. And she has an incredible story to tell.
Yes, we have a full post about her story. She is also someone who has battled a brain tumor. Hers a different type than Sean's, and much more debilitating.
Yeah, it's like pineal gland.
Yeah, pineal gland
I'm probably mispronouncing
tumor,
that.
I believe. But yeah, she had quite the fight, and she is doing amazingly well. And we're so happy to see her succeeding and doing so great these days. She and her husband, they are the sweetest people. So, and they make amazing woodworking handicrafts. So if you check them out, I think their handle on Instagram is the Barbosa Company, which is her last name, his last name also. And they make these incredible handmade wooden Christmas ornaments and all sorts of wooden crafts and that sort of thing. So check them out.
We give a shout out to Mach 5.
Oh, thank you,
super
Mach 5.
sticker. Appreciate
That's so
it.
nice.
And I'm sorry we missed you in New Orleans. We were kind of running a little behind schedule. And I knew that if we stopped in New Orleans,
we wouldn't stay for just one night.
Yeah. And I knew that we would sort of miss the holidays with our family and so forth. So we ended up, unfortunately having to bypass New Orleans, which I hated to do, but I'm sure we will
New
be
Orleans
back
at Christmas is so beautiful. So I'm jealous I'm sure you had a great time.
So we'll probably be back down there before too long. Luke asked, do we still love our solo stove and carry it all the time?
Yes.
The answer is yes and yes. You know, the solo stove has been probably one of our favorite gear acquisitions in the last couple of years. And we use it frequently.
Yep.
Even if there's a fire pit in the national park or
we'll
the
just set it inside the fire pit.
Put it inside the fire pit because, I mean, personally, we really like the simplicity, the ease of use. It's easy to make a great fire, and it contains all the mess in one spot. So we're very happy with it. So I would, I highly recommend the solo stove. I don't know anybody who's had one that didn't enjoy it.
Let's see.
Block 5 says better late than never.
That's exciting. You're getting your first travel trailer.
Awesome.
Perfect spring activity for you guys.
Yep. Merry Christmas to you. So there's a great little state park outside of New Orleans that I would recommend.
Yeah, I think it's called Bayou Signet. And it's a great little park. It's probably 30 minutes from the French Quarter in that area, but it's huge sites and, cute little place.
It'll be a good place for your shakedown cruise.
Yep.
Let's see. Mary Lee asked you to use a portable lithium power supply. We do. In fact, we use several of them. Like I've got a couple that are really large and heavy and a couple that are small and lightweight. We use them to power, for example, our Traeger wood fire pellet grill.
Yep.
And we use it to recharge batteries, drone batteries, to power cameras. You can run small appliances with them. So I highly recommend these devices. I'll give a shout out to Max Oak Blue Eddy because we've used several of the Blue Eddy devices, and we'll be doing a review of a couple of Blue Eddy lithium power stations in January. So stay tuned for that.
Yep.
Because sincerely, I actually just love those devices. I find
they
myself
are very
using
helpful,
them all the time.
And I will tell you, when we were dry camping in really cold weather, I used one of those little lithium power banks to heat or to power my heated blanket.
Throw, yeah.
I have a little heated blanket, and that made a world of difference when it was 25 degrees outside.
Our new neighborhood says hello from Seattle. Thank you for your videos and inspiration, positivity. Thank you.
Thank you. Happy
We
New
try
Year.
to be positive on Long Long Honeymoon. I think RV travel and camping is all about happy times. It's about just exciting sort of bonding times with family and with friends.
And rolling with the punches.
Yeah.
Because every day is not going to be sunshine and roses on the road. You're going to encounter problems. You're going to have a rough day. You're going to have a bad day here and there. So you just have to live to see another exciting day.
Overall, it's wonderful.
Yeah,
I think RV travel is wonderful, and the people who do it are great people. In general, we get a lot of positive energy from you guys, from our audience. Certainly when we meet you face to face, but even the notorious YouTube comment section, which is typically full of trolls. I think we've got it easier than a lot of other YouTubers because RV owners are typically, I think, maybe more positive in nature. I don't know. That's just my impression. Let's see.
Go back up a few.
Somebody asked solar or generator now that you have a season on solar. I would say
we still carry our generator.
We carry our generator. I think you can get by with a smaller generator and you can use it a lot less often.
Yeah.
The solar is a big investment. Now, we just did a video about we upgraded the alternator in our truck. Now, I think that's been sort of a missing piece of the package for us with our solar. Like now when we arrive at a campsite, we've got full batteries. Our truck is so much older that I think is really why we needed that. I think if you have a new truck, or, within the last 3 or 4 years, you're probably not going to have to worry about that. Rue Venture said, where do you camp in New Orleans? We camp there's a Pontrain Landing, which is a really nice kind of an RV resort that is outside the quarter, but they have a shuttle that will take you over to the quarter.
Yeah.
And it runs several times a day. And we also have camped at that little state park that we mentioned previously. Bayou Signet.
Or Signet.
The Phenomenal Five says, you guys were the first people I saw on YouTube. It was almost 2 years ago. Today I'm on my shakedown trip.
Oh, wow. Congratulations. Congrats. That's awesome.
Just take it easy and enjoy. Have fun. You'll always remember those first experiences with your RV.
Tim Germain says, more Alaska, more Alaska.
Well, I would like to go back to Alaska.
I really Alaska's a possibility in the next year or two. We haven't really talked about it too much, but we'll see. Right now, obviously, we can't do it because we can't drive through Canada. But once they open Canada back up, it is quite possible we'll go there.
On
again.
Facebook, Eric asked, before you went solar, what were the best batteries you found? We were using just interstate batteries. They were nothing special, though. I mean, they were just lead acid batteries.
Not great.
Somebody said that they had AGM and they were thinking about upgrading the lithium. I will say, overall, we love the lithium batteries. We have those Battleborn lithium batteries. We've got 4 of them. They're 100 amp hours each. We quadrupled our power reserves with those batteries because one lithium battery has basically the equivalent in power output as 2 lead acid batteries. So that was a big upgrade for us. See,
we're closing in on the hour mark. Should we pop the champagne?
Yeah, I think we probably should.
Point?
David says he loves a dry sense of humor. Thank you, David. There's James from Biloxi, Mississippi. That is a very interesting avatar you have.
Is
there,
it?
James.
It's a pencil.
I think it's a pencil.
Are you a writer, James?
We're wondering what you think of the Airstream interstate RVs. I think they're really nice.
Cool.
They're nice. All those Airstream motorhomes are nice.
I think if you're willing to, you know, be in the small space, they're really nice.
Jeffrey says need more travel videos in the Northeast.
Yeah.
It could happen. It could happen.
It's just the Northeast, man. It just makes it more difficult. There's just so many
tougher.
more people. The roads are terrible. The tolls are
not terrible.
The roads are pretty terrible. I mean, if you're being honest, they really are.
We had a few bumpy
there's I mean, you know, there's no BLM land to camp on, you know. So, you know, it just requires a lot more planning. It's not as fly by the seat of your pants as we usually like to be.
It could happen. Maybe this next year.
Yeah, we'll see. Possibly.
Let's see. Chrissy can talk me into going to Disney, and I'll talk her into going to the Northeast.
No, I love Maine. Camping in Maine is amazing.
Heather asked if we're going to South Carolina. Well, we have family in North Carolina, so we probably could spend more time in the Carolinas.
I have actually never been to Charleston.
Yeah, Charleston's
beautiful. I would love to go to Charleston. Actually, we have a good friend that lives there now, and so it would be fun to visit Charleston and see them. Somebody got a LOLOHO sweatshirt for Christmas.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
That's awesome. Thanks for ordering.
Classic Car Traveler says he loves watching the old LOLOHO videos. And there are a lot of them because we really started making the videos. We joined YouTube in December of 2006.
Yeah.
I mean, YouTube started in 2005. Yeah. And at that time, I was sort of learning filmmaking or trying to learn how to make videos. And so I started hacking some things together in 2007. So there are some videos on our channel from 2007. Somebody asked about what our first video was. We have a video that's sort of, I call it episode 1, that is sort of the story of us getting married.
But our very first video was the bison crossing in Yellowstone.
Yeah,
right?
But that was,
woo.
All right. So we're popping the cork, and
we don't have champagne flutes, so we're just gonna have to use wine glasses.
Yeah, that'll do. We're kind of the idea is this is sort of wrapping up 2020. 2020. What to say about 2020?
You know, it started off with a great trip overseas.
Yeah, for us, I think. To me, the worst part of the year clearly was like when the lockdowns started. Cheers to the end of 2020 and to better times ahead. But I think I will steer back to some positive energy and say that I was so relieved and excited when we got out on the road with our RV. It was the best thing that we did because personally, just feeling of being kind of like locked up and unable to go anywhere, and everything was weird, everything was shut down, and everything was just sort of distorted and strange. When we got back out traveling with our RV, it was so refreshing. You know, like it really was.
Freedom!
It just felt, I mean, so great just to be able to go and see so many beautiful places in our country and see so many people who were still getting out and enjoying life. Now, you know, with RV travel, you can socially distance. That's a great thing about it. You know, even a lot of these parks had modified their check-in procedures so that you could check in online. For example, those Army Corps of Engineers parks that we went to in Arkansas, all that stuff, we just sort of booked online. And
a lot of campgrounds that used to not allow same-day reservations online. Now allow same-day reservations online. So that's actually made it a lot easier to book same day if you're just traveling and you want to find, a little state park or county park or whatever the same day. It's actually made that an easier process, I think. And the Corps of Engineer Parks the same way. So that's been one positive that's come out of COVID.
Yeah, actually, I heard this discussion a while back that I thought was interesting, that, when you think about the lockdowns and COVID and the pandemic, and you think about all this, sort of negative stuff that's happened, there will be some positive changes that happen out of this too. I mean, and that's an example. Maybe checking into these parks, that whole process will be streamlined. Like even if you're a germaphobe and you go to restaurants, people are being more cautious, obviously, about just interacting with others and about handling food. And
hopefully people are more aware of washing their hands.
Yeah.
It used to be a common thing. I would go in restrooms and I would be standing there washing my hands, and you would see other people leave the stall and leave the restroom without washing their hands, to which I wanted to smack them on the head for. You see that a lot less these days, thank goodness. So maybe it's helping that.
Harold says, happy holidays, just got home from Chicago and a lot of RVs were fighting crosswinds.
Yes.
Well, I think that's an excellent point. And, we've had this discussion in just the last few days. I'll tell you about something that happened to us in Texas. We were traveling on kind of a back side highway, not an interstate, because sometimes
it was like a county road.
Sometimes we really try and skip the interstates and stick to highways because you see more of the countryside. It's a more pleasant journey, usually, even if it's not as fast as barreling down the interstate. Well, some of these Texas highways, the speed limits are still like 70 miles an hour.
Crazy.
Now, we were not going 70 miles an hour. We were going, let's say, around 60 miles an hour. And overall, the roads were really good. But then we hit this sudden patch of road. It was almost like, I don't know if it was a pothole or just.
I think it was like where they had repaved and something had sort of smeared the asphalt, where it sort of had like this ripple,
like a dip, and it was almost like a ramp.
But there were like 3 ripples back to back, and so we hit those, and those 3 right in succession just.
So it's like I could feel,
it was very scary,
the entire rig like jump up and skip off the asphalt doing 60 miles an hour. And it almost felt like the trailer, I won't say it quite jackknifed, but it
was fishtailing.
Fishtailed. And I felt Seymour, that 3/4 ton truck, sort of take command of the trailer. And we got out of it anyway. And I was really grateful, for one thing that
it was a very scary situation. And Sean did a great job. He didn't panic, he didn't overcorrect, he didn't slam on his brakes, because all those are bad things to do in that situation. He just took his foot off the gas.
I mean, old Seymour is still a beast of a tow vehicle, even though he's getting on in years. But to correct out of this sort of situation, I did have to sort of steer the trailer a little bit over the center line. Now there was no
traffic coming our way, thank the Lord above.
But if there had been oncoming traffic, it would have been a really scary situation. So I just want to emphasize what Harold was saying. Everybody needs to be safe out there when you're towing and traveling. I want to thank Greg.
Thank you, Greg Conrad. Let's see, scroll down in the comments and you might see it. There he is right there.
Oh, yeah. Thank you, Greg.
Thank you,
Greg.
Very much. We appreciate that.
Super sticker.
That's awesome.
All right. Acme says, got to go about the 1 hour mark.
Yep.
Stay well. Yep.
Cheers.
We're at the 1 hour mark.
We don't want to keep you guys too long, but we just wanted to hop on and say thanks for sticking with us through 2020 and all the madness and craziness that has happened this year. We're trying to make the best of it, and we've tried to still provide good content to you guys. So hopefully you're enjoying it. If you haven't, please click the little subscribe button. If you are subscribed, double check and make sure that you're still subscribed. We've heard from some people over the last year that have been subscribers for a long time, and then all of a sudden they stopped seeing our videos, and they went in and found that they had been unsubscribed from our channel. And so please just double check and make sure that you haven't been unsubscribed from our channel. we need all the subscriptions we can get, of course. That's always great when we grow our audience. And we really appreciate it.
I really enjoy these live streams. I really enjoy your comments so much. Like Jaden says, the first time we went through Louisiana, the roads were atrocious. I have to say, it was at Interstate 10. It's pretty rough. And what the issue on some of those interstates, there are so many big rig trucks. They're really hard on those roads, and it makes for pretty tough towing. Again, the side highways often are a smoother ride, often, not always. And David asked about replacing Seymour. We're not necessarily replacing Seymour just yet, but I have to admit,
probably in the next year or two.
Yeah, I mean, Seymour.
He's worked hard for us for a long time, and even with the bulletproof diesel work that we had done 4 years ago, it's just we won't tow him forever. At a certain point, he's going to reach his shelf life. Towing.
Yeah.
And not saying we'll get rid of him. He just won't be what we're towing with anymore. So that'll probably be in the next year or two.
But still a really solid tow vehicle.
Yeah, for sure.
Still very happy with
we're hoping
Seymour's
to at least get one more
performance.
season out of him.
Yeah.
Before we have to start searching for a new one.
There's no reason why we shouldn't be able to.
Yeah.
Todd asked about Thor Industries buying out Tiffin.
Yeah.
No comment. I'll give an official no comment.
Yeah.
Thor owns Airstream.
Yeah.
But I will say just Tiffin has been a pretty special
They're like the
company.
Gold standard.
They have been the gold standard in the RV industry, I think. And so, overall,
Oh, look, Missy says she was unsubscribed a few days ago.
Wow.
So please double check and make sure that you are subscribed to our channel. We don't know why these unsubscription things have happened. It's something with the YouTube algorithm, I'm sure. So just double check. We would greatly appreciate it.
Naj says, I hope you had a great Christmas.
Thank you so
Blessings
much.
out the new year. Big kiss to baby girl.
We appreciate that so much.
You bear a striking resemblance to Darth Maul. Has anyone ever told you that? Cool avatar. I like it.
Somebody wants to know how many miles we have on our truck. He's right at 186.
Yeah,
So 186,000 right now.
A lot of which have been towing.
Probably 100,000 that has been towing. So
yeah,
he's put in some good work for us.
I want to give a thanks to Bob and Wanda, who are Patreons. Says Happy New Year. Happy New Year to you. Unfortunately, we didn't make it to Washington State this year.
Yeah.
I would love to be there next year. We made it to Idaho, but we didn't make it over to Washington. But we love camping in Washington. Washington is a strikingly beautiful state.
It is. And there's actually 2 national parks there or 3 national parks there that we've actually never even been to, because usually when we're in Washington, we're visiting family, but our family moved from Washington this year. So now when we go back to Washington, we'll be focused on those national parks. So
Jim says he'll take Seymour. If we ever part with Seymour, Jim will be first in line.
Yeah, behind my dad, probably.
Yeah, good point. Free Beck says we finally made the move to Alabama and Eufaula. Great.
Very cool.
Thank you and welcome.
That's a nice area. Lake Eufaula is really beautiful.
John Robinson says Merry Christmas from Manitoba, Canada.
That is one Canadian province that we have not been to.
Manitoba. We need to do some more in Canada, but we've got to let this whole COVID thing settle down.
Yeah.
I don't think we could. I don't know how we would even get up there.
He wants to give us guitar lessons.
If I could
Danny,
just learn
I would
one
greatly
song.
appreciate your guitar lessons, because people don't know this, but the guitar is technically my guitar. I can't play it. I don't know how to play it.
I think I gave it to you for Christmas.
You gave it to me for Valentine's Day
yeah.
one year.
And I really think you should learn something.
I would, but I've tried to do YouTube videos, and I really just, at least for 3 or 4 lessons, I need a person, helping me. And then after that, I think I could do okay. But I need a few lessons just in person.
Denise wants to see more. Tim asks if your mom's cornbread recipe has eggs.
Does not.
No.
So we have a whole video on my mom's cornbread. So you can learn exactly how to make it yourself. It's just buttermilk, self-rising flour, self-rising cornmeal, and buttermilk and some hot grease and a good cast iron skillet. And you will be glad that you made it, because it is so, so good. I don't think I've ever served my mom's cornbread to anybody that didn't just really
it's awesome.
love it.
It's crispy, crunchy.
It's crunchy on the outside, soft on the inside.
And
Good
healthy.
stuff.
It's corn. You got to eat your vegetables, right?
Well,
Kevin Thomas. Remember we met Kevin out in
Kevin,
Vegas.
we met you in Las Vegas.
Asked if a new F450 will be in our future. Perhaps.
I don't know if we go that big.
450 is big.
Yeah, 350 possibly. 450, I don't think we.
Well, they say go big or go home.
I don't want to park that thing. It's bad enough parking a 250.
You know, somebody said we should look at the F-150 hybrid, and I think it looks cool. I would love to be able to get by with an F-150 just for the maneuverability and driving it around town. But I'm just not convinced that it could totally get it done.
Yeah, I know it could tow us over mountains and all that good stuff, but my concern is stopping us, the braking when you're going downhill. That's where I'm nervous.
Freeback says the newer Power Stroke has 2 alternators. Apparently, our truck had that as an option because that platform is used for ambulances, and a lot of ambulances would have 2 alternators. So, but I honestly did not realize that. And so far, we've been really happy with that MechMan alternator. It's nice.
Yeah.
I mean, it's really getting it done. Let's see.
Let's watch all of our videos.
Dr. Dean Bard.
He looks like he plays the piano.
Yeah.
That's awesome. A fancy looking piano.
Jay Maxey says, why stay with Ford? Well, it's sort of an abusive relationship. I mean, just keep
we
going
don't
back.
know that we'll stay with Ford. I mean, I think once we start shopping, you know, we'll look around and see what we think. I like, you know, Fords are made right there in Kentucky.
Yeah, in fact, I will take a moment to put a little feeler out there. If you know anybody at Ford or Dodge or GMC
Chevy.
Or Tesla,
yeah,
but
Elon Musk, if you're watching,
yep, if Elon Musk is watching, I mean,
we'll be happy to be your test
look
subject.
at other alternatives. I mean, I guess you know, overall, we had a few issues with our Ford. I mean, a few minor issues like our engine failing, but
twice.
But, you know, we've still got 185,000 miles on them. And I sincerely have totally enjoyed the truck. It's been a great truck. Just had that, you know, slight issue with the 6-liter.
Chris St. Clair wants to know if we're going to keep our Airstream forever.
Well, forever is a very long time, but it would be hard to part with our Airstream now. I sort of feel like we've had so many sort of special experiences traveling around with it.
I mean, there's really nothing wrong with it. I mean, I know it will be turning 18 in January. So a few days away from her 18th birthday. Liv will now be able to vote, join the military, etc. And she's still in great shape. So I think as long as she's in good condition, we'll keep going with her unless Airstream decides to let us do a long honeymoon edition Airstream, and then so long live. No, I'm kidding. We wouldn't get rid of her, but
you know,
it'd be a lot of fun.
You guys really need to watch the ceramic coating video, which I think will be posted next week.
Yeah. Because
after we had our Airstream ceramic coated, a lot of people, like in that sort of week after we pulled away from Vinny's, said they thought it was a new Airstream.
Yeah.
I mean, because it looks as good as it could possibly look for a 17-year-old trailer, because it's not just the ceramic glass that goes on it, but first they sort of buff all the imperfections they can.
So they got a lot of little like faint scratches out of ours that really made a difference. We took the pinstriping off, which I think made it look like a newer Airstream, because they don't really pinstripe Airstreams much anymore. We removed some of the old badging that sort of made it look a little dated. You'll see in the video, we did have to take our logos off to have it ceramic coated, but that's just because anything you coat with that ceramic, it makes it permanent. So if you're somebody that's a member of the WBCCI club and you have those red numbers on the front of your Airstream, you might want to take those off before you ceramic coat it, because if not, those numbers are there forever. So if you go to sell your Airstream, bye-bye numbers. So just something to think about.
Captain Ron says the F450 with wide track front end is easy to park. All right, I'm going to look into it.
Yeah, somebody else said it has a great turning radius. So, Mike Lee, where's Mike Lee? What?
Oh my goodness. Mike Lee. Dude.
Holy cow, Mike Lee.
Shout out to Mike Lee. Thank you so much.
Scroll down or scroll back up to find him. There it is.
Wow.
Mike
thank you so much, Mike.
Thank you so much.
Happy New Year
that
to you.
Is insane. You are the man. We owe you a lot of beer.
Thank you, Mike. Yeah, we do.
Cheers,
Maybe
Mike
we'll come
Lee.
see you in Washington, D.C.
There's actually a really nice campground, Cherry Hill RV Park in Maryland right there. So
To Mike Lee.
To Mike Lee. Cheers to Mike Lee. Thank you so much. That is unbelievable.
Thank you, Mike.
Incredibly generous. Wow.
Mike Lee is the man.
Whew.
Thank you, Mike, so much. We
Mike
appreciate
Lee,
it.
you are the man.
You know,
wow.
We appreciate it so much.
That's
amazing.
Just wow, crazy.
You got her speechless.
You got me speechless. That doesn't happen very often, but yeah. Wow. Let's see. When we make it to Hawaii.
Will we do an Airstream?
I don't think you can really rent an Airstream in Hawaii, but I think the camping there is just so limited. I think you can do like the little VW vans to rent or really tent camping. So maybe this next year we'll actually make it to Hawaii and check off our 50th state. Thank you, Mike Lee. Cheers to you. We appreciate it so much. Cheers to Mike Lee. My goodness.
You are the man. Don says you get turned away by many campgrounds since your Airstream is 17 years old. You know, we did get turned away once over the phone with, before they'd even looked at it.
Because they just asked what your Airstream was, and we said a 2003. And it was a big campground at a
Reno
casino.
Yeah.
And,
Reno, Nevada
I think the person working there was just the receptionist at the casino, so probably has no idea what campers are. She's just going on the list of questions. And when I said 2003, she just said, sorry, we don't take RVs older than 10 years. And I said, well, can we send a picture? And she was like, no, they just have a strong policy. So I said, okay. I think a lot of RV parks, if you will send them a photo of your RV, if it's older than 10 years, a lot of times they will let you in if it's in good condition. They're trying to keep those sort of run down, beat up, not well-maintained RVs out, which I understand. So,
yeah, I sometimes jokingly say we now have a 2020 Airstream because, earlier this year at Ronnie's Airstream Nuts and Bolts, we put on new logos and also new rock guards.
Yeah.
Shout out to Airstream on that too. So like those rock guards in the front are the newer style.
They're
raised
taller.
Up. They're taller than the older style that we had. And the new logos front and back
are the new style badging.
The new style badging. So, and after the ceramic coating, I really think.
And we have the newer wheels on that we put on in 2016. Right. So really, if you don't really know all the details of an Airstream, you wouldn't really know that our RV is as old as it is. So, it is what it is. So, somebody else wanted to know what's the money for? What are they making payments towards? I think is the question they asked. It's just people giving us a tip. It's sort of like a tip jar. If they've learned anything from us, if we've been entertaining it all this year and you want to drop something in the tip jar, it's an option. You don't have to. We certainly appreciate it if people do it. It's awesome. It makes us feel good. We appreciate it. And it's just an option during these live chats that YouTube offers. So,
and it does help. It really helps a lot keep this thing going.
Yeah.
I mean, frankly, because I know that, if you're on the receiving end of the content, you sort of don't see the pain and suffering that sometimes goes into making the content. And you don't see like the cameras that get lost and make the ultimate sacrifice,
right. The drone that gets crashed.
Or
the one that gets, somebody keeps saying it is not a tip. It is super chat. So that's a good point. Yeah. So super chat is where you can give an amount of money and your comment gets highlighted.
Right.
So that we see it, because comments just sort of fly by when you have this many people on a live chat.
Right.
So it helps us see that person's comment and acknowledge them and hear whatever question they want to ask. So, so it is technically super chat, not a tip.
Yeah, that's a good point. Very good point.
Good point. We forget about that, but that is how we see them, because they sort of like pop up in a big bright color. So we appreciate that so much.
Yeah. And all this stuff.
So thanks, Remy, for reminding us of that.
The technology costs money, the laptops, the cameras.
Absolutely. I mean, we pay for a lot of these services that we use to edit with, to, email lists and that sort of thing. All those things cost money. And
Santa Claus is bringing a new Sony video camera this next week.
Yeah, for
And-
Sean's birthday. Sean's birthday is Tuesday. So cheers to Sean's birthday.
Like, I don't know. Some guys are into cars, and other guys are into cameras. I don't
So
know.
Sean is now into cameras. He used to be into cars.
I'm kind
a
of
long
a
time
camera
ago.
nut. Yeah. So, but I really do think that
Mhm.
these cameras help produce better content and better videos for you at the end of the day.
Yeah.
So it's really a big help. Let's see. Kevin said we should meet up with Big Truck, Big RV. I know he's posted some stuff on our channel. We'd love to meet up with him someday.
Somebody mentioned that they use our name for their Amazon orders. We greatly appreciate that. Susan said that. So
yeah, thank you so much.
That's another way that you can support our channel. If you shop through our Amazon storefront, you can purchase anything that Amazon sells, not just items listed in our store. So to do that, you just go to amazon.com/shop/long honeymoon. You'll see our camper and our little LOLOHO logo on that page. And you can either shop for things out of our storefront, or you can use the search bar to buy anything that Amazon sells, and we earn a commission for that. So that doesn't cost you anything.
I want to take a moment to say something that I really meant to say at the beginning of the video.
Mm-hmm.
This is very important. I hope everyone who's tuned in is going to listen to these words. I want to say thank you.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
Absolutely.
Because we don't say it often enough. Thank you. Because when we started doing this a long time ago, there was no clear path to even make any kind of income from doing this.
Yeah.
We did this because we enjoyed doing it, because we loved travel. We loved camping. I was trying to learn to make videos. And we did this for years without making anything.
Yeah.
Really.
For probably 8 years without really making.
I mean, and a lot of people
$20,
would have thought, why are you wasting your time doing that?
Mm-hmm.
And, there were a lot of other things we probably could have been doing productively that would have, generated some income. So it's so wonderful now that there are ways that we can generate some income doing something we love.
Yeah.
And very importantly, helping you get out there and do something you love and have better experiences with your family and your friends when you travel with your RV.
That's right.
So it really is very much a virtuous circle. And something I learned is that the more we can help you, the more you help us.
Mm-hmm.
And so we are working for you in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
And we want to produce more and better content that helps you get more out of life.
That's right. We usually like to say that we make the mistakes so you don't have to. We sure to share all of our mistakes, all the things that we've done wrong over the years. And that way you don't make the same mistakes we have. So hopefully you've learned from our mistakes.
And shout out to our patrons and Patreon. Very much
Patreon
appreciated.
is another one that we
Your
really appreciate.
Unsung heroes of LOLOHO Nation.
Absolutely.
And, from time to time, we meet up with our patrons, like, for example, the Eatons in Death Valley National Park. They
just happened to be passing through while we were there, and we were able to stop and chat with them.
They kind of did a pass, and they were like, I think that's Sean and Christy. And sure enough, it was. And we
they were
able
the
to hang
nicest
out.
people. So it was so great to meet them in person. We greatly appreciate that. If you scroll down,
so a lot of people are saying happy birthday. I appreciate that very much. Chris.
Oh, thank you so much.
Thanks for the super
Thanks,
chat.
Chris. First RV channel you followed. Well, thank you very much for following. We appreciate it. Thanks for being part of LOLOHO Nation.
Yep. Thank you very much for the super chat.
The Z-Man family.
I like the cat.
Thank you. I love your avatar picture. That's awesome.
Thanks so much for your years of entertainment.
There's one that you missed. That was a big one right there.
Oh, wow. Tim.
Tim Moore. Thank you so much.
You,
we appreciate that. Cheers to you,
appreciate
Tim.
it very much. We'll drink to
We're not usually champagne drinkers, but I got this last year when I got my braces off. My orthodontist gave me this. Isn't that fun? So we're finally drinking it a year later. I think, did we get everybody on Super Chat? I know somebody was mentioning we missed one, but it's a button called Super
There's
Chat.
There's somebody named Scott Sykes.
We acknowledged him earlier in the night.
I think we did. So I think we
and
acknowledge
Tim
everybody.
Moore, we acknowledged him. So I think we got everybody that's signed up for Super Chat. Oh, Christy said they celebrated their 20-year wedding anniversary. That's awesome.
With a 6-week trip out
Congratulations.
west in RV. Thank you, Christy.
That's a lot of fun. Okay, Remy says we got it.
Yep.
Perfect.
Okay.
I think it was Tim. His sort of flew by when a bunch of comments came in.
Yeah.
So.
And I want to say something else. This was just an interesting email that I got from YouTube that had some end of year statistics and it just listed, a lot of things like, oh, you made this many videos, your videos were watched this number of hours, a lot of stats like that. But it said this year you replied to 9,900 and something comments. So almost 10,000 comments we replied to on YouTube. Which
is about 30 comments a day.
Yeah, which, I mean, like, first of all, you're like 10,000 comments, but then it's about 30 a day. But
that's just on YouTube.
That's just YouTube. Then you think about Facebook, Instagram, email.
Private messages.
Private
messages. Of those platforms.
And so I guess one of the things I wanted to express is I wish we could reply to everyone's comments.
One. Oh, wow.
Thank you, Raymond. Russell. Appreciate it very much.
Thank you so much. We appreciate that.
I wish we could reply to every comment, but at the same time, if all we did was reply to comments, we wouldn't have time to make videos or work on the other stuff.
We wouldn't be super interesting. Oh, Gail and Danny.
Thank you, Raymond, so much.
Thank you, Raymond. Great. We appreciate it so much.
And thank
Gail
you,
and Danny.
Gail
thank you
Danny.
So much. And they're patrons as well.
Yeah, that's awesome.
That so much.
Happy holidays to you. Thank you so much.
Yes.
So
wow.
So it's really this is a very positive way to wrap up.
To wrap up the year.
A somewhat difficult year.
And celebrate your birthday.
Yeah, I do.
His birthday is Tuesday the 29th.
Yeah.
He will be
I'll be 29 once again.
I won't give it. Yeah, he was 50 last year on his birthday, so this year he's 51. It's not rocket science.
I turned 50 again.
Yeah, you can just be 50 again.
What happened? Like I turned 50 and the whole world went bonkers. So like
pot.
I have had this unusual thing in my life because I was born at the end of a decade. I was born December 29th, 1969. So just barely squeaked into the 60s to be a child of the 60s.
Yeah.
But my life is sort of neatly wrapped up in these separate decades. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I really like every time I cross that 10-year mark, it ushers in a new decade.
That's right.
And boy, didn't this one get off to an interesting start.
Somebody was wanting to know. Oh, Sherry. Wow. Thank you very much for the tip or the super chat. We appreciate it so much.
Thank you, Sherry.
We're glad you enjoy your solo stuff. We love ours. I think it's been a real game changer for us.
Yeah.
There used to be a lot of times where we wouldn't go to the trouble of building a campfire if we were just somewhere for a night or two. It's like, oh, you got to get all the wood and takes you 45 minutes to get it going good and all that kind of stuff. And now it's like you have a raging fire in like 5 minutes.
Easily.
It's super easy.
You need just maybe a little bit of newspaper. And here's a pro tip. I take used wine corks. Now they have to be real cork, not synthetic, obviously. But wine corks, and you just put them in a container and soak them with, I guess it's rubbing alcohol. And they make great fire starters. And then you have to drink wine regularly, obviously, to replenish your supply.
Oh, Henry and Deb. Thank you so
Henry
much.
And Deb. They say, thank you for making us love Sunday evenings.
Well,
thank you so
we
much.
appreciate that. It's always fun for us to get on here and chat with you guys live and get direct feedback, to really get to talk with you guys. Because it makes us remember that you guys are real. There are real people out there watching these videos, and it helps us put, names with our audience. And that's a great feeling. So we appreciate that.
Terry says, if you remember the 60s, you weren't there. I vaguely remember it.
You do not.
I was at least 2 days.
Jim Pratt's going to have to sign out.
All right.
Thank you, Jim, for all that you've done this year to be our moderator.
Cheers to Jim and Kelly.
So much. Everybody give Jim a pat on the back. He does an awesome job. And he's a great painter, by the way, too. He's been a painter during the pandemic.
He is a man of many talents.
And his wife loves football, so she wants to watch the football game now, which we totally get. Kelly, enjoy the Packers game. Have a good night.
All right. Thank you guys for coming out.
And then Roxanne, thank you so much. We appreciate it, Roxanne.
So we're coming up on the 90-minute mark. So I think we're probably going to sign off. Hey to Darby, who just turned 51 also.
Happy birthday,
so actually
Darby.
Tuesday is my birthday, and maybe I'll do a live stream on the Shawn Michaels Simulation channel.
Oh yeah, he does more camera review type stuff there, and then he posts some more of our international travel stuff over there. So if you're interested in
if you're interested in international travel, I really want to start doing a lot more with this channel. And I sort of feel like it doesn't make sense on Long Long Honeymoon sometimes to talk about hot air ballooning in Burma or whatever.
Yeah.
but
we don't want to turn people away that are here for RV stuff.
Because I think Long Long Honeymoon is about RV travel, but the other channel will be a little bit more about international and just in camera reviews and just everything that doesn't fit. Just a good creative place to be.
Yeah.
We love you too, Jim. Thank you so much.
Happy New Year. Thanks again. Hope to see you soon. So we started this video at 6 p.m. Central Time. So we are right at the 90-minute mark.
So
if you haven't gotten tired of us yet, you're still here.
Good night to Todd.
Good night, Todd. Thanks for tuning in.
The name of the other channel is the Shawn Michaels Simulation. And it's just intended to be kind of a fun, creative channel, mostly camera and international travel. And, maybe we'll do some live streaming, some talk over there. There are a lot of things I like to do that maybe don't fit with Long Long Honeymoon.
Yeah.
And so
we sort of, he puts it over there.
So who knows? We might have a lot of fun with that. Yep. Todd, I will be having a Sony A7S III unboxing party, hopefully on my birthday. And I hope I'll be able to use that camera to make a lot of great Long Long Honeymoon videos in 2021. So, all right, guys, I think we're going to sign off. We've been live streaming for over 90 minutes now.
Got some happy birthday wishes in there.
Yep. Thank you all for the happy birthday wishes and for all of the...
Thank you for all of the super chat donations. We appreciate that so much. Raymond and Scott and Mike Lee and Aaron and Roxanne and Kathy and Dan and Gail and all the people. You guys just blow us away. We appreciate it so much. And just all of you guys for watching, for subscribing, for clicking the like button. All those things make a difference. I know it doesn't seem like it's much to click that little like button, but YouTube tracks those sort of things. And the more likes a video has, the more often it will be suggested to other people to watch the video. So that's very helpful to us. So if you want to support our channel and you don't want to have to put out a penny of your hard-earned cash, which we understand, click the like button, click the subscribe button, leave a comment. Use our Amazon link to shop on Amazon if you get a chance. And we appreciate it so much.
Yep. Thank you, guys. And we'll be back next week, probably discussing our ceramic glass coating. It's going to be really cool. So,
yep. So we'll see you guys the first Sunday of January, a week from today.
Thank you, guys. And goodbye, 2020. It's been
real.
It's been fascinating. It's been unprecedented.
That's right.
I'm sort of sick of that word, unprecedented, aren't you? All right. Thank you, guys. We love you.
Good night. Thanks.